power. Now, why Flagship Detroit? In the American Airlines system, the city of Detroit was very instrumental as a hub and a crew base. Also, one of the directors of American Airlines was headquartered in Detroit. There was a neat thing that happened that pertains to this airplane and the American Airlines fleet of airplanes. They had a nightly disc jockey that ran from midnight to 6, and it was called, sponsored by American Airlines, called Night Flight with Jay Roberts. And Jay would take you on a cross country, on American flights every night at different cities. You would get to the city, tell you all about Dayton, Ohio, and what your departure time was to come back home. In the meantime, he played great music all night long. But he had a running story and a running commentary. It was done at the top of the Fisher building in Detroit, so you could hear it a long way away. And we could hear that American program on our aircraft radios down in Texas when we were cruising down there. Night Flight with Jay Roberts. So that's one of the things that happened. The other great thing about this airline is contribution to the war. Like Rob said, it could do anything. It was a gunship, wasn't it? Well, up into the Vietnam War.
Exactly. That's when it actually got its guns. It was called an AC, or Attack Cargo 47 Spooky Gunship. They put, instead of having guns facing out the front, they faced the cannon out the side, and they would circle the target, concentrating the fire, an immense amount of firepower on a very small target.
That's right. They would be, in fact, keeping the enemy away from a downed airman until the helicopters got there. Why could they do that? Well, it had a tight turning capability. It's not a fast airplane to begin with. You could turn it on a dime on a tight circle and rain that terror down on the enemy to save our pilot, whether it was in a life raft or whether it was on the ground. In addition to that, they had the DST, the Douglas Sleeper Transport, where you could actually sleep in a berth on these aircraft and go cross country and get some shut-eye at the same time if it happened to be an all-night flight.
As we look at the airplane going by, maximum speed 230 miles per hour, but a little interesting factoid, Danny. That airplane, now you have talked so much over the years about Rosie the Riveter. 500,000 rivets in a DC-3.
Somebody had to put those rivets in, especially during the war years. And it was a total effort. It was Rosie the Riveter that was out making the fighters, the bombers, and these transports. Because if you can't get supplies to your guys out in the field, if you can't parachute things into them that they need of all descriptions, they are high and dry. And these aircraft were very viable in battles like the Battle of the Bulge, where weather precluded getting ammunition and supplies down to our guys who were fighting that last bit of World War II. The skies opened up. Here came the guns, the food that they needed. Oh boy, more Spam. I get to eat today. That's what my father said. He was there. But we're concentrating on the 75th anniversary of this great airplane. Yes, it did change the world. There's been so many programs written about this airplane. Rob told you about the max speed of the airplane, but in truth, in cross country, about 3 miles a minute. But that was a lot of speed back in those days, and it is still efficient. Because of all of the aircraft that were built, parts are not an issue. There's still plenty of DC-3